Yeah, you see where we at. We in the greatest city in the world, and that's Dania Beach if you don't know. But it's your boy VT, and we're here on True School Sports Talk Boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to just touch on this. Listen, I'm outside right now. You can look at my hands. There's no notes in front of me. We're just going off the rip. We're going off the cup, and we are just giving you guys the unfiltered, unadulterated, unedited boxing talk. Hello. Now, with Errol Spence Jr., you know, I just wanted to vent and say this about Errol Spence because I'm a big fan of his. I love watching him fight. I think the world of him. I think he's good enough and he's talented enough to go out there and become the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. I think he's good enough and got enough things going for him to become a pay-per-view star in America, which is a rare thing that I'll say about anybody in boxing right now. With that being said, Errol Spence Jr., there's no two ways about it. The guy has become an outright diva, okay? I like him, but he's become a diva, all right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that, because really, the whole Terence Crawford saga and the Terence Crawford fight has kind of exposed Haymon even more than we already knew, because Errol Spence Jr. was never, when he first came out, a diva. He was the guy that was doing all the right things. He was calling the top guys out. He was calling Keith Thurman out when he was 15-0. He was young, he was hungry, he was undefeated. He went to the UK, he fought Kell Brook, got a world title. So all respect goes to Terence Crawford for what he's accomplished in his career so far. But now you got him openly, you know, kind of in a smug way and in a kind of a celebratory way, ducking Terence Crawford. I mean, you got this guy out here saying things like, "Oh well, I can't give you 50-50 because I just sold 400,000 pay-per-views." When in all reality, we as boxing fans, we in the know, we know that about a good 80% of those pay-per-view buys came from Mikey Garcia. We know a lot of those tickets came from Mikey Garcia. And Errol Spence Jr., you know, this is not a knock on him, but I think we won't truly know how good of a standalone pay-per-view draw he is until he fights like Sean Porter on pay-per-view. When he fights Sean Porter on pay-per-view, we're gonna know, like, okay, is Errol Spence Jr. really that pay-per-view star that he was claiming to be? Now, and I'll be honest with you, with Al Haymon, you know, it might make sense for him not to put this on pay-per-view because I think Errol Spence, he'll get dramatically exposed for not being as big of a pay-per-view star he is. But if they do put it on pay-per-view and it does anywhere close to those same numbers he did against Mikey Garcia, then fair play to him. He deserves credit. I'll even say he deserves 50-50, but that's not going to happen. So that's what it is. He's become a diva, man, and he's talking about, oh, you know, like, he's trying to shit on Crawford if he fights Kell Brook. It's almost like anything he can do to discredit what Terence Crawford is doing and paint this narrative in the media, he'll do it. You know, like, what else did he say? He was going on and on about how Top Rank only promotes Lomachenko and they don't promote Crawford. Now, I'm not gonna disagree with them on that one. Top Rank's so far up Lomachenko's ass that it's getting unbearable at times. So I'm not gonna get enough of that. But still, there's no why would he even care about it? Like, why would he care about what Top Rank is doing and how they're promoting him when he's on the other side of the street? You know, he goes on about all this, you know, other side of the street bullshit, like across that street. He goes on and on about that, but then he focuses on the other side of the street when it works out for him. Now, I've come to learn this about Terence Crawford, and in a weird way, it's maybe admire him more because, you know, in an era where you got guys, particularly in American boxing, guys, they're more concerned with being superstars on social media, being in movies, being in commercials. Terence Crawford doesn't give a shit about any of that. He doesn't care about being a superstar. He doesn't care about being on the next issue of Men's Health and Fitness. He doesn't care about being on this talk show and that talk show. He doesn't care about none of that. What Terence Bud Crawford cares about more than anything else in the sport of boxing is whooping your ass and proving and being mean while he's doing it. You know, he takes pride in that, and he has a certain mean streak he fights with, and he wants to hurt Errol Spence, and he knows he'll hurt Errol Spence. And honestly, I'm starting to think that Errol Spence doesn't really believe that he could beat Terence Crawford, because what he's doing is shambolic. I mean, he told Crawford to his face when they met up in person, oh yeah, Al said that I'm fighting Mikey Garcia, then I'm fighting Keith Thurman, then I'm fighting Manny Pacquiao, then I'm fighting Shawn Porter, but he didn't mention Terence Crawford. And you know, it's a shame because I don't want to just put all the blame on Al Haymon and PBC, because I do believe that the reason a lot of fights happen is not just one promoter, it's all the promoters, because all these promoters have egos and they're all greedy. But what I will say is Al Haymon, PBC, and all parties involved on that side of the street are they are the main cause for a lot of big fights happening in boxing. And we can look at a lot of weight classes and see this. We can see it with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. We can see it with Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko. And now we're seeing it with Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Because they want to keep all those fights in-house. But really, this fight should be happening in the latter quarter of this year. It should be happening to close out this year, Spence versus Crawford. Now, I'm not mad at Errol Spence going out there and fighting Shawn Porter, wanting to unify the belts, because Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford, or Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence, is a fight that's been being talked about for quite some time now, and that's his prerogative, you know. And getting another belt will give him more negotiating power for a Crawford fight, so you can't get mad at him for that. But to sit here and openly applaud and celebrate ducking Terence Crawford, you know, I'm losing respect for Errol. He's becoming a PBC diva, a businessman, and I never thought I'd say that, you know. And it's not just him. We've seen this pattern with many PBC fighters. We saw it with Keith Thurman, but that's a bit of a different case because Keith Thurman was, you know, had a hand injury, and he got married, so he took a lot of time off. With Errol, you know, he's fully healthy. He has the IBF title. People are clamoring for the Terence Crawford fight, you know, and then it's like you got people like Leonard Ellerby saying, what fans want to see the Terence Crawford Errol Spence fight? Any fan with half a brain wants to see the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight. You see what I'm saying? So, Errol Spence, you know, he's pulling out his Dallas Cowboys pom-poms, and he's celebrating the fact that he sold 400,000 pay-per-view buys and did 47,000 tickets at Cowboy Stadium. But we all know the lion's share of those buys and views were because of Mikey Garcia, not because of Errol Spence. Now, if they really want to prove that Errol Spence is a standalone pay-per-view draw, that he is that guy, put that same fight on pay-per-view and have it at Cowboy Stadium. And let's see what numbers he does. And guess what? If he does legitimate numbers, if he legitimately sells tickets and does pay-per-view buys, then you know what? I'll have to retract my statement and say, you know, Errol Spence is that guy. Terence, we love you, but you got to concede to Errol Spence. He truly is, without a shadow of a doubt, the A side in this fight. But I never thought in my wildest dreams, that I would come to see the day that Errol Spence Jr. starts playing A side, B side, boxing, politics, bullshit. You know, he just never struck me as one of those guys. But I guess when you have Al Haymon in your ear, when you're in PBC, when you got a bunch of guys that don't want to hike up their skirts and fight the best fighters out there, and they want to put fights in marination, you know, then you get this. So, speaking as a longtime Errol Spence fan, and I've been an Errol Spence fan for almost 6 years of my life, you know, it sucks to see. It really sucks to see what he's becoming, because now I can say without a shadow of a doubt that he is no different than Mikey Garcia. He is no different than a lot of guys in the PBC stable that are divas and that don't want to fight the best and that are scared to lose their O, and they're just all being used as pawns in the Al Haymon witness protection program of boxing. So those are just my thoughts on Errol Spence and what he's been saying in the media recently, posturing himself as this A-side businessman like he's Floyd Mayweather, you know, making every excuse in the world to down Terence Crawford, to not fight Terence Crawford, talking about how Top Rank is promoting him, talking about, oh, well, Kell Brook was damaged goods and I ruined him. You know, then he's talking about he doesn't deserve 50-50 and all that stuff. You know, make the fight, man. Make the fight. Like, Terence wants to fight. You're out here openly celebrating ducking the guy, and you did it to his face as well, which makes it even worse. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. And you know, we're outside now. We're walking the streets of Daniel, so I'll say it a little bit louder. You can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania Beach. So until next time, take care, guys.